Coitus Interruptus. So this is also called withdrawal method, and it is practiced by men. Now let's see how this method is performed. So here the male withdraws penis from the vagina just before ejaculation. We know ejaculation is a release of sperms, and that naturally takes place in the female reproductive tract. Now, okay, in this method, the male will withdraw the penis out from the vagina, and the release of sperms will take place outside, and hence there is no chance of sperms, okay, releasing or depositing in the vagina, and thereby no fertilization and no pregnancy. But okay, if everything takes place in a proper way, then this is a very good method. But there will be, okay, chances of leakage of sperms, and because of this, okay, the chance, okay, of failure is more in this method. Okay, so more chances of failure in this method, that is coitus interruptus. Okay, the next another method is under the natural, okay, methods, is lactational ammonoria. So in short, I'll write it LAM, lactational ammonoria. So here ammonoria, which means absence of menstruation, So here lactational, which means, okay, lactating. So the meaning of this is, okay, lactating means producing and releasing the milk for the young one, that is newly born baby. Okay, now this absence of menstruation, it naturally occurs after the delivery of the young one to a certain period of time. So let's see, after pregnancy, okay, the woman shows, right, natural postnatal infertility. So they show natural postnatal infertility. Okay, right. Now this LAM is effective only up to a period of 6 months. So here in this LAM also, so this is effective only to a period of 6 months. So in all these 6 months, there will be usually absence of menstruation here. And here, okay, so LAM is also not a reliable method. Okay, so this also is not a reliable method, and chances of failure, okay, are more even in LAM, that is lactational ammonoria also. As long as mother breastfeeds the child, the chances of conception are almost nil. Okay, now we discussed about three methods: periodic abstinence or rhythm method, and the second one is Coitus Interruptus or withdrawal method, and the third one Lactational Ammonoria. So in all these three methods, I did not mention anywhere use of some kind of medications or any other external agents. And because of this, all these methods are completely free from side effects. So there are no side effects. But even though there are no side effects, there are more chances of failure. Okay, and the failure, which means that can result in pregnancy, right? So this is all about the natural or traditional methods. Next we will go with the right artificial methods. Okay, let's see about artificial methods, right? Now in the previous session I already mentioned classification, okay, on these artificial methods. So here I'm repeating again. So these artificial methods, which I classified into temporary or spacing methods, and okay, another one called terminal or permanent methods. And under the temporary methods, which I have given you, like barriers, okay, and IUDs, okay, and then okay, chemical contraception, right? We'll see in detail about that. And under the terminal methods, which I have given, okay, the vasectomy and tubectomy. So already I mentioned, okay, so this vasectomy is performed in males and tubectomy is performed in females. Okay, right. Now anyway, first we'll start with the temporary methods and we'll see. Okay, the first one are the barrier methods, right? So under the barrier methods I'm going to talk about, okay, condoms. So these condoms are available for both male and females. Okay, so if it is the case male, we call male condoms, and if it is the female, we call female condoms. So both male and female condoms are available, okay, in the market. The next one about diaphragms. Okay, so they are also barrier methods. The next one are cervical caps and another one called vaults. Okay, now here almost these diaphragms and cervical caps and vaults, these are okay available only to females. They're not available to males, the diaphragm, cervical caps and vaults. Okay, whereas in the case of condoms are the one which are available for okay both right, the male as well as females here. Now right, in this case the diaphragm, cervical caps and vaults, almost all these are reusable items. Okay, whereas in the case of condoms these are only single use. These are either condoms, diaphragms, cervical caps or vaults. Okay, so almost these are okay either made up of latex or rubber. So they're either made up of latex or rubber. So as I already mentioned that the diaphragms, cervical caps and walls, they can be reused, whereas okay, the condoms, whether it may be male or okay female, it is of only okay single use. How these okay condoms, diaphragms and cervical caps okay help in preventing conception. Okay, so they prevent conception by blocking entry of sperms through okay cervix. So they block the entry of sperms okay right through the cervix, and as a result okay the sperms may not be they cannot enter into the uterus. And we already studied in the previous chapter that the sperms okay after their release in the vagina, they have to swim through okay the cervix, then uterus, and finally enter into the fallopian tube. And we know, and in the fallopian tube, in the ampullary region where the egg and the sperms meet and result in the fertilization. Now right, so in this case that is completely prevented. So either condoms, diaphragm, cervical caps or walls, whatever, right, they will be preventing the entry of sperms okay that can pass through this cervix, right. Now these barrier methods can become more effective if used with some chemical okay substances, like what we call them, those chemical substances have impact on the sperms and they can kill. So those are called as spermicidals. Okay, so can become effective if used with okay spermicidal creams and jellies okay, so that have the property or capability of killing the sperms here, and also foams. So available in different okay right compositions, like in form of creams, in form of jellies, in form of foams. Okay, these spermicidals are available, and along with that, if one uses okay there is the more there will be more effective in preventing the conception here. Okay, so if we look at the condoms here, usually this will be the male condom. Okay, and so in the case of female, so this will be the female condom. So this is a male condom and this will be a female condom. Okay, so right, so one side of course in this case it is closed, here also it is closed, and right, so there is a collection of sperms here after the ejaculation actually takes place. Third, Nero is a popular brand for condom of males. Now, okay, these condoms have one special advantage, okay, which is not with the diaphragm, cervical caps or walls. Okay, so in case of condoms, right, they not only prevent conception but also okay prevent from contracting okay from contracting STIs. Okay, that stands for okay sexually transmitted infections, okay, like STDs, gonorrhea, and so we will study about all those things right at the end of the chapter. Okay, so here the condoms have a special advantage when compared. So diaphragms, cervical caps, and valves, they do not have, okay, this advantage. Okay, they cannot prevent STIs. Okay, they can prevent only the conception, right? Whereas condoms, okay, they prevent conception, and also they prevent, okay, from getting contracted with okay, sexually transmitted, right, diseases, or sexually transmitted infections here. Okay, so that's one advantage of condoms when compared with the other barrier methods. Here make a correction, so they can uh, become more effective. So already, I mean, these are effective, and if you use, okay, these spermicidal, okay, creams, and so, right, the properties can increase, that they can become more effective, okay, right, with those spermicidal chemical compositions. Coming to these diaphragms, okay, cervical caps and walls here, if you look at the structure, right, so in this case, usually the diaphragm may look, okay, something like this. Okay, almost the diaphragm, cervical caps, and walls almost have a like, okay, similar shape, and these diaphragms, cervical caps, and walls, okay, are, they fit, okay, at the cervix. So they will be, okay, closing the cervix here. Like already, if we have, okay, so we have seen something like this in the reproductive female reproductive system. So this is a cervical canal, okay, and this is the cervix, and this is the vagina here. So here is a location where they are going to put this, okay, the diaphragms or cervical caps here. So it fits over, okay, right, it fits over the cervix. Okay, so this is the diaphragm, and so, okay, that clear this one. So, and here the sperms, if they are released here, and they may not be able to pass because they have to pass through this cervical, okay, canal, right, and this is the cervix, and they have to pass, and they will be swimming towards the fallopian tube here, and that is prevented by this, okay, diaphragm. Not only diaphragm, cervical caps, walls also. Next one are IUDs. So it stands for intrauterine devices. So they stand for, okay, intrauterine devices. Also called intrauterine contraceptive devices. So in short, we call, okay, IUCDs. So either IUCDs or IUDs. Okay, in short, intrauterine devices. You can also call intrauterine contraceptive, right, devices. And these IUDs, okay, are like a type of long-acting reversible contraceptions. Okay, or long-lasting reversible contraceptives. So, right, and these IUDs are available only for females, and in fact, they are designed only for females and not for right males. So, okay, they usually, okay, come in various, okay, shapes and sizes, and okay, these are usually made up of, okay, plastic, copper, or stainless steel material. Okay, right. So they are made up of plastic, copper, and stainless steel. We'll also look at the different types of intrauterine devices also, okay, here now in this session. And these IUDs must be inserted into the uterus by a qualified doctor. Now, in earlier barrier methods, whether it is condoms, or cervical caps, or diaphragms, and so, they can be inserted by the female or a male by themselves. There is no need of any medical assistance. But in this IUDs, the person cannot insert by herself. Compulsory, there is a requirement of medical assistance. Only a qualified, okay, doctor should do this, okay, in inserting the IUDs into the uterus. These IUDs are classified into three categories. Okay, so they are non-medicated IUDs. Okay, so they are non-medicated IUDs. So there is no medication that is applied to these IUDs, and they're completely, okay, just made up of any plastic or a copper, okay, and so, right, and no medicine is applied onto that, okay. That's, we call it non-medicated IUDs. The next one are copper releasing IUDs, okay, and they have copper here as the name suggests, okay, we'll see them. The next one are hormone releasing IUDs. So these are hormone releasing IUDs, okay. Now the examples we'll see here only, later I'll give an explanation in this, okay. So for non-medicated, okay, IUDs, the examples include lipis loop, and in case of okay, copper releasing IUDs, examples include, okay, CUT, okay, and CU7, okay. So these T and 7 represents the shape of those intrauterine devices, okay. Then another one like multi-load 375, okay, are some examples of these copper releasing IUDs. The next one, in case of hormone releasing IUDs, examples include, okay, progestasert and something called LNG 20, okay. So it includes progestasert and LNG 20. So here the full form of LNG stands for, okay, levonorgestrel. So levonorgestrel is a, okay, right, progesterone hormone like, okay, substance that we'll see. Even the progestasert is also like progesterone. We'll see them when I discuss about a hormone releasing IUD. So these are some examples, okay, for the three types, okay, of hormones, okay, right. Now first we'll see about non-medicated IUDs, and then okay, before this I just give you the structure of an intrauterine device. So this intrauterine device usually may have a T-shaped structure. So in most of the cases it will have a T shape. Okay, this is how it looks like. So it will have arms, okay, and this will be the, okay, stem, and these will be the, okay, retrievable, okay, strings. Means after inserting this IUD, so whenever the woman doesn't like, or it has to be removed for the purpose of pregnancy, okay, to remove this, these are the strings which will be used by the doctor, okay, and with the help of forceps they will remove, hold these strings, and they will completely remove this IUD from the uterus. Okay, right. So this is right a structure. I know, and I told you already, the IUDs will have various structures, sizes and shapes, and so, okay, a default one which I have given you, okay, for understanding purpose. So IUDs are very effective, and their effectiveness is greater than 99%. Okay, so in other cases, okay, it is not that much. So here in IUDs have a very good or a very good, they are very good reliable contraceptive methods available, especially to females. Let's see the first one, okay, non-medicated IUDs. Okay, so these non-medicated IUDs are made up of, okay, plastic. So they are made up of okay, plastic, and right uh, now, so presence of this, okay, in the uterus. So here you'll see, okay, in the case of uterus. So let's see right here how they are going to insert a right IUD. So here it's the, so through this vagina, we know this is vagina, and it's the cervical canal, and this is the uterine cavity. So it is in this uterine cavity they are going to place the IUD. Okay, so through this channel. Okay, so here after insertion, okay, so this is how, okay, so these are retrievable strings which will be even seen in case of right externally into this vagina here, and this is how the location of IUD. Okay, right, placed inside the uterus. Now here, how these IUDs will be helping in preventing the conception. So here, presence of a foreign body inside the uterine cavity, it will render the migration of right sperms. So the sperms find very difficult in moving through this uterus, and finally, okay, reaching this fallopian tube. So they will be not able to reach this fallopian tube because the IUD inside this will not allow the sperms to reach the fallopian tube. Okay, right. So this is how a non-medicated IUD functions here. The next one we'll see about a copper releasing IUD. So in the case of copper releasing IUD, this also, like as I said, we'll see about CUT. Okay, so that has a T shape. It has a T shape. Okay, so this body is made up of a plastic or some other, okay, material. So we'll consider here plastic. Okay, so these are the retrievable strings here. So now, right, so here you can see this is actually coiled upon by the copper. Okay, so this is the copper, okay, that is coiled on this polyethylene frame. So this is simply I'll mention here, plastic frame. Okay, now this copper, uh, the copper which is present on this plastic frame, they will be releasing copper ions. So the copper releases, okay, copper ions here into the uterine cavity. Okay, and now these copper ions have some impact on the sperms. Okay, right, they reduce the sperm motility. Okay, so they are going to reduce the sperm motility. Okay, which one? The copper ions are the one that are going to reduce this sperm, and also fertilizing capacity of sperms. So they are going to reduce the sperm motility and also the fertilizing capacity of the sperms, and because of this, okay, right, the same here also, right, we'll see if it is the copper. Okay, so you can see here copper, so that's coiled around this plastic frame, and that releases copper ions here into this, and that will reduce the sperm motility. And if it is the case, the sperms will not be able to swim, okay, into the fallopian tube. And we know it is here, okay, the right ampullary, I'm sorry, here, okay, so ampullary junction here. Okay, so here is the ampullary junction where fertilization takes place. So okay, and the sperms will not be moving up to that point, okay, to a ampullary, okay, or simply say ampullary region. Right. The next one is about hormonal Iuds. Okay, now these hormonal Iuds are the one that they steadily release, okay, certain amount of hormone each day. Okay, as I mentioned already, in the case of this hormonal Iuds, one example is LNG, okay, 20. So here the LNG stands for, okay, levonorgestrel. Okay, so this is in fact a progesterone like hormone. Okay, it's a synthetic one. Okay, is a synthetic progesterone hormone. Okay, and right, so this will be releasing a certain amount here, okay, amount of hormone every day, okay, that will actually prevent conception. Let's see how these hormonal iud is going to function. So here the iuds make, okay, the uterus unsuitable for implantation. Okay, unsuitable for implantation. Okay, so they make uterus unsuitable for implantation, and also make, okay, cervix, hostile for sperms, means the sperms will not be able to pass through the cervix, and it will be a very hostile environment for the sperms, okay, during which, okay, they may completely die and lose the ability, okay, of moving, and so, and finally it all results in preventing the sperms, okay, to reach the fallopian tube. If at all they reach and fertilization takes place, then also, okay, the implantation is prevented. So in this way, the hormonal IUDs, okay, are very effective in preventing the contraception. So now here, IUDs are actually are ideal contraceptives. So they are ideal contraceptives, okay, for females, and these IUDs are most widely accepted, okay, contraceptives, okay, by women in India. So the women in India mostly they rely on these IUDs. As I told, they have more than 99% of effectiveness in preventing the contraception.